Hello YouTube. Today we're going to be talking about a 2004 Kawasaki KLR 650. I'm sure a lot of people know that this is a workhorse of a bike. This bike is like a tank. You can ride it anywhere you want, anytime you want, and it'll just keep going. These are one of the most reliable bikes out there. The motor has been pretty much unchanged since the bike was introduced back in the days. I know the US military uses the same bike. It's just a really nice reliable bike. Looks wise, it's not very pretty. I mean, I'm sure anyone who buys a KLR doesn't really buy it for the looks of it. It's kind of ugly somewhat, or I would say an acquired taste at least. This is the older style, the 2004. I believe they changed to the newer style in 2008, but I don't think there's much change as far as the motor goes. Okay, so let's talk about the weaknesses of this bike. Most of the people complain about the soft suspension and the weak brakes. I've been using this bike on the streets mostly, and I really haven't had much of a problem with the brakes. I think they just work fine. I mean, there's quite a bit of dive in the front when you're doing some heavy braking, but that's something that you can live with. As far as the rear suspension goes, a lot of people don't know this, but there are some adjustments on there. Let me see if I can get that. There's actually let me pull this out. Okay, so if you can see this bolt right here, this is a 12 socket fits in here, and it basically, if you turn it counterclockwise, clockwise, you will increase the preload on the bike. And if you see this one right here, it's kind of really hard to see, but there you go. So one right there, that's showing you the settings of the preload. So the more lines you see right here, the more spring tension you have on the bike. So that kind of adjusts the suspension of the rear, the preload on the bike in the rear. It's fairly easy to do. I weigh about a 170, 175 with gear, and I've got it between 2 and 3 setting, and it seems to be working pretty good. There is also a rebound setting on the bike on the rear that also a lot of people don't know about. To get to the rebound setting, you basically have to pull this cover out. When you do that, you'll see a little ring in there that basically goes from 1 through 5, and it changes your rebound setting in the back. The front is basically a simple non-adjustable suspension. There's some air valves right here that you can put some air in. I've never really done that, but it is there. It's very easy to modify the front suspension. I mean, if you don't like the dive, what I would do is just drain the forks. You can actually do that while leaving the forks on the bike. I know you're never going to get all the oil out that way. All you have to do is just raise the front of the bike and then open these little tiny screws over here, and what that will do is it'll drain out all your oil, and that's pretty much it. Take all the old oil out, put maybe like open the fork up here, put some 15 weight oil in there, and I've done that before on another bike, and it makes a day and a night difference. It's a huge difference. So if you're going to ride mostly on the streets, that's one thing that you can do to stiffen up the suspension, make the bike handle a lot better. The bike also has a luggage rack stock. This is obviously not stock, but this is. So you can pretty much fit any kind of luggage bag back there. This bag holds a full-size helmet. It's got my jacket in there right now, so it's very useful basically. What else? Ride quality. The power of the bike is very reasonable. It's got enough torque to get you up and going. I mean, you're not gonna win any races, but it's got enough to get you from wherever you want to go to whatever. The KLRs are pretty much like they're like trucks. If you're riding out on the street and you see a dirt road, it will take you up there, and you can do it with ease. There's no issues whatsoever. The motor, like I said, is bulletproof. Another feature that I like about the KLR is that it's got a huge gas tank. It's got a tank that is about, the manual says about 6 gallons. I've used about 5 gallons of it just to be safe, and that's huge. I mean, it gives you a huge fill-up range, so you can go long distances on it with no problems at all whatsoever. This bike has a Jardine pipe on it, so it sounds really nice. It's got some good power. It's got dirt tires, or I would say dual sport tires on it. They were on there when I bought it. They're pretty much brand new, so I didn't bother changing them, but when I do change them, I'm going to go towards more of a street oriented tire, because that's most of the riding that I do. I have taken this bike off-road. A note of caution, this is a heavy bike. It's about, I think, 360, 370 pounds dry weight. So it's heavy. If you drop it off-road, you're gonna have to use some muscle to bring it back up. So I wouldn't say this is an enduro, but I would consider this an adventure tourer bike. It will take you off-road, but nothing too extreme, because when you do go off-road, there's always a chance that you're going to drop it. Another thing, the bike is pretty tall, so for new riders, I mean, you're going to drop it sooner or later at slow speeds or whatever. So you gotta be comfortable enough to be able to pick it up. If you're like 150 pounds or lighter, or if you're not confident in your ability to pick it up, I would be a little careful. I have dropped the bike a couple of times. I was able to pick it up, but that's just something to keep in mind. Other than that, it's a really good bike. It's going to last you forever with simple oil changes and just keeping the bike from overheating. Just keep your coolant topped off. It is a really good, reliable machine that will run forever. I would highly recommend this bike to anyone who's thinking about doing some adventures or some long distance riding. You can compare it to the BMW GS's as far as the versatility goes. Power, yes, is a little bit low compared to the GS, but the prices as well. I got this bike for $2,000, and I think that's ridiculously cheap. It only has about 7,000 miles on it. So yeah, the KLR is a good reliable bike to have if that's going to be your one bike and you like to do some adventures. Go for it. Let's see how it sounds. I'm going to start it up right now. The bike has a jet kit on it, so with the pipe, I barely had to use the choke. Actually, I haven't really used the choke at all on it. Starts up fine without the choke every time in the morning. So there you go. That's your 2004 KLR 650. Thanks again. Bye-bye.